Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today on the Shaping Your Success CBT channel live stream, brought to you by Hay Legal and the Law Society of Scotland. I'm Ali Thompson. I'm joined by Rachel Steer from the Law Society CPD team. Rachel, how are you?
Hi Ali, thanks very much. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yep, delighted to see you. Now, So we're live on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. All innovative things that we're trying to do to keep things interesting for everyone. And also hello to everyone who's going to watch us on the replay, because you're able to see this on Hay Legal YouTube going forward. So today, Rachel, the plan is, we know that everyone's very busy. We're aiming to be live for around 10 to 15 minutes or so. And we're looking to give people an update about the joint venture we have with the Shaping Your Success channel. So to find out about what is involved, who our guests have been and are going to be, how you can access free CPD, which is always of interest to our audience, and how you can register and get involved. So I think what I'll do is I'll just play the short social trailer that we've created. It's just a 15-second one or so, and then we could maybe run through the key points about the channel, Rachel, if that's okay?
Yep, so, sounds good to me, Ali.
Okay, perfect. I'll just show this now. So Rachel, there you go. So key points, could you just run us through what the channel is for people who've not heard about it, please, Rachel? Thanks.
Yeah, of course, Ali. So the key takeaway points of the channel is to provide a monthly release of content that challenges and inspires sort of new ways of thinking. So we're taking you sort of a wee bit more slightly away from the more traditional CPD programs and offering 15-minute bite-sized pieces of content from various different guests. And importantly, our guests are coming not only from the legal world, but we're also bringing people in from business, sporting, academic, technology sectors, and sort of many more as well. And what we kind of realised when we were creating this channel is that there's a lot that the Scottish legal profession can actually learn from people that are outside their field, who we maybe wouldn't encounter on a day-to-day basis or encounter in various sort of CPD programmes. So we've had a great variety of guests so far that you can catch up on via our Shaping Your Success webpage, where we've spoken to guests such as Kenneth Feinberg, who many of you might know was the Special Master of the 9/11 Victim Compensation Funds, and whose career was also depicted in the film Worth, which starred Michael Keating. We've also spoken to guests like Baroness Helena Kennedy QC about what it means to be a woman in the law. And here she kind of reflected on her own career, which is obviously a very long, successful career. And also she discussed what she thinks about the future of the legal profession. We've also caught up with people from our sector, including Gary Gallen, who was the founder of Radar, who encouraged us to challenge traditional ways of legal thinking to sort of inspire innovation and development within your firm, as well as many, many more guests. So in terms of accessing this content, all you need to do is head straight over to the Law Society Shaping Your Success webpage, and also importantly, just make sure that you sign up to the web form that's at the bottom of the page to make sure that you're notified when we have new content live. So that's really it in a nutshell, Ali.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And so am I right in saying there's about 400 or so lawyers subscribing currently?
That's right. So we're up at about 400 lawyers subscribed currently. So yeah, and it's just growing and growing every single week.
Yeah, so it's building out. Early days. We're only a few months into this, obviously, but got long-term plans, building out a community, and the hope is that we will get interaction from everyone who's signed up, asking us to create particular types of content that they're interested in, so that they shape their own success as well. And we get guests in that meet everyone's needs. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to show what I think is a great example of what it is that we're trying to do. When I was lucky enough to be able to interview Chris Vanderkool, who is an amazingly successful entrepreneur, from the gaming industry and other industries now, and anyone who's heard of the game Minecraft, which I think is the entire world, will know of him. He was involved in creating the console edition of that through 4J Studios, which is based in Dundee. And I interviewed him and spoke to him about the legal sector, what he thought about it, and what he's looking for in a lawyer. And I can show a little clip of that just now.
The best law firms I see out there today are the ones that see themselves as entrepreneurial enablers. They're actually there to help us think strategically, tactically about, we've got a bit of a challenge on somehow, how do we resolve this in a way that hopefully wins for everybody? Gone are the days for me when I view a lawyer as a necessary evil. I view a lawyer as an entrepreneurial enabler.
Yeah, so entrepreneurial enabler was one of the key points that came out about lawyers adding value, how Chris saw the role of a lawyer in the business initiatives that he's involved in, bringing youth into law firms and how that was reflected also in the gaming industry, where where businesses are very keen to bring in new talent and make them almost decision makers in their organisations. And so he was a fantastic guest, and there's 15 minutes of content from him that I think and would hope would be of interest to our audience, and a great example of what the channel is trying to do.
No, exactly. 100% agree with you, Ali. And that was just obviously a snippet of a 15-minute interview, which has many sort of different insights from someone like Chris, who's obviously really well known in his field.
Yeah, absolutely. So this month, for guests coming up, we've got new content to release. So you conducted an interview with Stephen Gold.
Yeah, that's right, Ali. So this month I had the pleasure of interviewing Stephen Gold, who many of you might recognise his name from his column in the Law Society Journal, which I think was entitled The Word of Gold, which is a great sort of tool to use to catch up on his articles. I really recommend you having a little look. So what Stephen and I spoke about during our interview is we touched on business strategy a lot. Obviously, Stephen is a really well-known rainmaker. And more specifically, what we wanted to get insight from Stephen about was where do you start in creating this sort of business strategy, and more importantly, probably what questions do you need to start asking yourself when you're thinking that you need to create this sort of business development plan for long-term success. And we also spoke a little bit about the do's and don'ts in terms of creating a business development plan. Now Stephen is a consultant for law firms up and down the country, so he has a great sort of array of knowledge about the do's and don'ts of implementing this sort of strategy for success. And we sort of rounded up the interview and just quizzed Stephen on what is the best piece of advice he has received during his career, which maybe isn't the answer that you might have expected to come out of a successful businessman with 40-odd years experience in the law, but very funny nonetheless. So that was the highlights probably of the Stephen Gold interview.
Yeah, brilliant. No, sounds good. I look forward. I haven't actually seen that yet myself, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. For myself, I conducted an interview with Mark Edwards, who's the Chief Product Officer of Rocket Lawyer UK, or Rocket Lawyer globally, I should say. And Rocket Lawyer, a very interesting company who were at one time backed by Google Ventures. So I think that's an arm of Google where they invest in companies that they see are going to be involved in seismic social transformation. And it's all about accessibility to the law. It's about creating online documentation that allows people to self-help as best they can. And really, Rocket Lawyer and LegalZoom are two companies that are having a really significant impact, especially in the United States, and they're rolling out across Europe and other territories. So we spoke with Mark. I did so as part of my role at Glasgow University Law School on the diploma, where we teach legal innovation and technology. And we cover all sorts of things that will be of interest to people building out their own individual careers, talking about customer experience for law firms, how technology can be used to make the customer experience better. And Mark outlines how a chief product officer would create a tech product, how they work from the customer backwards. So how they look at the thing that they're trying to achieve and then plan all of that. So you get an idea around agile product development. So it's really fascinating stuff. And the students talk to him ultimately for about 50 minutes or so. And we've got 15 minutes of that in the channel, which again, I'm sure will be of great interest. Another release that we've got this month is, again, I was lucky enough to speak to Charlie Hodgson, who is an English rugby union legend. I think I can say that. He might not like me saying that, but highest point scorer in Premiership history. So I was very keen at the outset of this whole venture to try to get sports people involved as best we can. Just to get, I think it's fascinating to get that kind of insight about elite sport and high performance and business. And I think there's so much crossover in relation to these territories. So Charlie talked all about elite performance, dealing with setbacks, the importance of the team, the importance of the individual, but why team's more important, core values. I think some of the stuff that he talked about results not being great and how his team dealt with that was really fascinating. And I can see how that plays into the law firm environment. So there's 15 minutes of that as well. So great content that's been produced again this month, Rachel.
Yep, definitely. And I'm glad you took on the interviewing sports people, because that definitely is not my forte. So I'm glad you're leading on that front, Ali. I think me talking to rugby players would just be a disaster.
Well, I'm always delighted to do so, and with much more of that. And we've obviously got loads of plans around a whole number of really interesting guests over the months ahead. You know, so really, I mean, we're trying to keep to a tight schedule here, because we do know that people are dropping in and it's lunchtime and it's just a quick update. But really, that's what's going on. We're trying to create a vibrant channel. It's building out really nicely. We'd invite everyone really to get involved and come on board.
Yeah, exactly. And just as we sort of spoke about at the start, Ali, we would welcome your suggestions of ideas, topics, people that you want to speak to. We actually got in touch with Stephen because of recommendations from the current subscribers. So more than happy to listen to everyone's recommendations. They would be really welcome.
Yeah, perfect. No, well, hopefully that's what will happen. So thanks also to De Novo, our sponsors of the channel, who've provided great assistance, and that's much appreciated. So really, I think I've just got a little paragraph here that says, so sign up to become part of the community. We'd like to hear your thoughts and suggestions for topics that will help and inspire you. We'll put the links of everything into the description on YouTube here, and subscribe to the Hey Legal YouTube channel if you can, and the Law Society one, to be notified of future live streams. But that's been great. Is there anything else you want to add, Rachel, before we head off and let everyone get back to
No, not at all, Ali. Thank you very much. As always, we're getting pretty professional at this. So two so far. So
yeah, absolutely. And we'll constantly get better. That's all part of the process. But no, it's been great fun to do. We're nearly actually bang on schedule, 15 minutes, which is roughly what we talked about. So that's great. So thank you for joining me, Rachel. I'll just play your exit video, and please, everyone, sign up and become involved, and we hope you enjoy the content that we're producing for you. Thanks very much, Rachel.
Thanks, Ali. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.